Okay, so question 17, describe the role of the microprocessor in an automatic washing machine. So, now the way you've got to look at this, so the way you need to look at this is the same way you looked at the other microprocessor questions. Obviously, we're not talking about impact here, but again, like I explained earlier, just use a flowchart to think of this. It's really, really simple. It's very, very straightforward. Okay, so now the washing machine has a number of sensors, and those sensors work with the microprocessor. So the best way to explain this is the most basic way. Okay, first of all, is that the sensors measure analog data. So this analog data, as I said, analog data is physically measuring something. So a sensor would measure the temperature of the water. The sensor would measure the pressure inside the washing machine in terms of obviously the wash load that you have in there. A sensor would measure as to whether the door is closed or not. A sensor would measure the level of water, the level of moisture in the washing machine. Now, so we're talking heat, we're talking levels, we're talking those sorts of things. That's all analog. Then what it needs to do is it needs to convert that into digital data. So an example would be, you set your washing machine to wash your clothes at 40 degrees of heat. So the washing machine would heat up the water. The sensor would measure as to whether that water has reached 40 degrees or not. Okay, and the preset value for that would be 40 degrees. If the water is below 40 degrees, okay, then it continues to heat it up. If the water reaches 40 degrees, it stops heating it up because the preset value is 40 degrees. Okay, so once it's done that, it opens the valves, lets the water in the machine. A sensor then measures the level of water, because obviously it's dependent how much you've got inside the machine, how much you've got inside the drum. Because if its preset value is to just fill the drum up halfway with water, then what can happen is, if you've completely filled your washing machine's drum, okay, and then it decides it's going to fill it halfway with water anyway, then what's going to happen is the water's going to overspill and come out of the drawer and flood your utility room. Okay, so once it's measured the pressure of the water, okay, and how much is in there, then what it does, it closes the valves, doesn't let any more water in. Then it continues to go around, okay, then eventually lets the water out, completely drains the water. Then obviously there's sensors measuring that. Once it's completely drained the water, the valves again close. Okay, so that's a basic way to describe it. So once obviously the machine's done, it's finished washing and all of the water's drained out of the machine, obviously the sensor detects that, unlocks the door. Okay, so that's probably a basic way you could describe it, where I should imagine you'd be able to get you 5 marks. So give that a go, draft that, check the answers, then obviously if you need to improve, give it another go.